last trip in 2024, last trip to Poland, and a recap what happened in the digital pathology space in 2024. We are finishing 2024 strong. As I travel back to Poland for Christmas, I'm gonna tell you what happened in terms of regulatory milestones, a quick recap of the industry events and conferences that I visited, what technological advancements and integrations did we witness in 2024, and a couple of words about market developments. So let's start with the regulatory milestones. More and more are coming out. February started with a clearance. So the trend is we are seeing more and more interoperability. And historically, the clearances for a digital pathology system were restricted to one vendor that would provide everything from the scanner to the viewer monitor and everything together because of so-called pixel pathway. What is pixel pathway? It's basically high-level overview of pixel pathway is the road or the path a pixel takes since it's being generated from a glass slide to when a pathologist is using it for diagnostic purposes. And this image generation, those pixels need to be controlled, need to be locked in a system that is cleared. But now what we are seeing hardware and software companies partnering. So the trailblazers in this space were Hamamatsu and Procia, and I just got off a podcast, well, just before I came to the airport. Okay, my kids are a little crazy. My kids are in this play area. You might see them going crazy behind. I just got off a podcast before coming to the airport. That was the last thing I did before packing, was to record a podcast with Scott Randall from Hamamatsu and Amanda Coble from Procia, because they started this trend this year. Hamamatsu provided the hardware. They were already FDA cleared. They got their clearance in November 2022, and then Procia worked with them to clear their IMS and viewer. And now we have this partnership of a hardware software vendor. The users, the pathologists are not locked to the scanner system. They can now pick a different IMS. So this clearance happened in February. And then in April, Sectra and Leica did a similar exercise, and they also included DICOM in the equation. So that was an interesting and important step towards standardization. They got a clearance for their, Leica had the clearance before, so still everything starts with scanning the glass. So these systems get the clearance first, and then the software vendors join them to offer users more options and to increase the interoperability. And then there was also Roche, who recently joined as Digital Pathology Place sponsors. Welcome, Roche. They also got the FDA clearance for the Roche Digital Pathology DX system, and that happened in June 2024. In May, I'm actually jumping a little bit, in the collabs with their Halo AP platform, they partnered with Hamamatsu and received a clearance for their Halo AP system. So another fantastic partnership. Now we are super flexible to choose whichever image management system we want. And in July, the new versions of Philips IntelliSight, they are the OGs. They started this clearance journey. The system IntelliSight 5.1 got cleared as well. So we have 5 clearances in a year, both hardware, software vendors, which I think is remarkable, because when we started in 2017, Philips started the Quest. The next clearance was only in 2019. And now we are fast forward to 2024, we have 5. This is amazing. And as my guest today in the podcast said, this never ends. Now with the FDA working on regulating the still current LDT space, lab developed test, there's going to be more interactions with the FDA, so that's going to be a never-ending journey. So all the digital pathology trailblazers on the vendor side are up to speed. They are stepping up the game. They know how to interact with the FDA and get compliant software and hardware to the users. So congratulations to everybody who got clearance. I'm gonna eat some dinner before we fly, and we're gonna talk about the vibe and the new communications at the Digital Pathology event in 2024. Oh my goodness, I need to show you something. There's a robot, self-driving cleaning robot. Look at this. He doesn't have a driver. Welcome, robot. Not only self-driving cars in California, also self-driving cleaning robots at the Baltimore BWI airport. This is marking new times. He's attacking me. Look, he's coming straight at me. Oh wow, he stopped at this person. Amazing. Look at this. This is marking a new era of automation that's gonna reach digital pathology as well. Amazing. We arrived in Iceland. This is the second leg of our trip, and I was hoping for beautiful video from the window seat, because in the summer when we go, you can even see volcanoes and the sea and everything, and it's 5 o'clock. So I thought, oh no, it's probably too early, and then I remembered, no, it's Iceland. It's gonna be dark here for like half a year. So no beautiful video from the Icelandic landscape. So actually we have many legs to this trip, because first we go to Baltimore from Fairfield, Pennsylvania. Then we go from Baltimore to Iceland. Then we go from Iceland to Berlin, and we're now in Berlin. And then we go to our house in Poland, which is like 2 hours from here. Okay, show these coffees. Let me show you these guys. Coffee time. This is the last leg of our trip, and I am not driving. I'm a passenger. People sleeping behind. So the conferences. I, of course, did not go to all the conferences, but I'm gonna let you know about the ones I went to. So starting with US CAP in Baltimore. I only went there for 1 day, but I saw a lot of digital pathology trailblazers. But the main highlight of this conference for me was the Hamamatsu S20 scanner launch, a NanoZoomer S20. So Hamamatsu has been a sponsor of Digital Pathology Place for quite some time already, and we recorded a dedicated video to this scanner. I'm gonna link it in the description or here in the cards. Fantastic, they came up with a new scanner, great, nice scanner, small one. But the highlight of this was that when I went to their booth, actually, I asked, where's the scanner? And they say, oh no, it's not at our booth. It's at Agilent booth. I'm like, Agilent, why?
And that was the first time that I saw an end-to-end digital pathology workflow put together where different vendors collaborated. So this little nano zoomer was a core piece of the digital pathology part of the workflow, because the digitization would start with the scanner, but the theme, Agilent theme, was from staining to sign out. So it was like a whole workflow put together from staining to sign out. So on the digital pathology side, it included the scanner, it included the image management system from Procia, the concentric system. Then there was also image analysis component from Visiopharm and a couple of other components, and I was super happy to see this partnership, because that means we're moving into the realm of interoperability. We're stepping out of the lockdown systems, we're going to interoperable system, and we see that in the clearances that we just discussed. Different software vendors are partnering with scanner vendors who are already cleared to have the pixel pathway, even though it's not just one company's component, like with the Hamamatsu scanner, to have the whole pixel pathway regulatory compliant. So that was USCAP in Baltimore. There is a vlog about it. And the other conference that I went to was STP, Society of Toxicologic Pathology, also in Baltimore, and there's also a vlog about it. This was more toxpath focused, so not too much digital pathology. I was kind of hunting for what's out there from on the digital pathology side,
because the topic was innovative therapeutics, biology, toxicological pathology, and regulatory perspectives.
And then there was CAP, the College of American Pathologists, and I visited that conference because of another sponsor, Muse Microscopy. So Muse Microscopy has an imaging device for tissue, direct to digital pathology imaging device. And that was kind of my focus for this conference. It wasn't the focus of the conference, but my focus was talking to them, learning about the direct to digital way of doing pathology. And let me tell you, they were not the only providers that tried to circumvent the glass slides and make a digital image directly from tissue. There was another device, a version of a confocal microscope that did that, from the company called
Microscan.
And another company that does glassless pathology is Applicate. They actually not only do glassless but also 3D. Muse has the capability to image deeper into the tissue than just the standard 3 to 5 micrometers that we can access with glass slides. So these new technologies, glassless pathology, are emerging. I explored them in more depth at CAP in Las Vegas, and you guessed it, there is a vlog about it. And the last conference for me was Path Visions, where I also met Muse, but we also created some content with Epredia, another VIP sponsor of the Digital Pathology Place. So this content is going to be coming out sometime soon. The highlights of this conference, so one, lessons learned from radiology. And there were several speakers from radiology, from the Society of Imaging Informatics and Medicine, SEAM, where most of the members are radiologists, but now pathologists are also entering this society, which is fantastic because we're also an image-based specialty. So that's one thing, learning the lessons that we can learn. We probably cannot learn all the lessons because although both specialties are image-based, the workflows are different, the level, the imaging is different, like there are a lot of differences, but still there's a lot specifically from the digitization journey that can be learned. And if we can skip reinventing the wheel in at least few areas, that's already a huge leap. I said two, actually there were three things. Then the second thing was AI as we know it. Actually, let's say first thing was the radiology component, and second was AI, and here we have 2A and 2B. And 2A is integration of the AI packages that as we know it, the narrow packages. What do I mean by that? Quantification of stains, like the classical IHC quantification, Chi67, HER2, and the IHC markers where there is AI for it. Integration of these tests into the slide viewing software. So this is currently a hurdle that the pathologists who went digital and want to embrace AI are facing. It seems like, like a first world problem. You just have to click another window to access it. But in the pathologist workflow, it's when you want to be fast, every click counts. So currently, companies and vendors and users, companies and the pathologists are figuring out, okay, how can we have a seamless integration where you can import the results from those algorithms into where the pathologist is actually viewing the cases, and so that there is no need to go somewhere else, to click somewhere else, to open another screen. So that was the this problem was already present before when we were tackling the integration with lab information systems. So that is kind of taken care of. But now the next frontier is, okay, how do we incorporate the algorithms? So this is 2A, and 2B is generative AI, language models, and language and vision models, large language models and foundation vision models or foundation language vision models. This is totally entering the scene. So one company, I missed one conference, the Digital Diagnostics Summit. I'm gonna give me 1 second and I'm gonna tell you about this one. That was in September. Pathvisions was in November. Okay, so at this Digital Diagnostics Summit, I met one company that does that, and they are called Modela.ai. So Modela is not only leveraging the foundation models, and they actually have a powerful vision text model, or like a combination of two models. Their product, one of their products, is called Path Chat, where you can take a screenshot of an image and query this image, and there is a model trained. The models that they work with is Uni and Conch, and you can query the image by taking a screenshot. But the next level thing that they are doing is agentic AI. They build AI workflows, and when I was listening to the presentation of the president, Jill Stefanelli, when I was listening to this presentation, she gave the example of image analysis. Okay, what do you need to do? What are all the components that constitute an image analysis workflow, right? So you get those images, you upload them somewhere to the software, you have to tile them, do pre-processing, the analysis, take out the results, and like a whole bunch of things that you need to do with those images before the pathologist actually can get something that's readable for pathology, kind of score or heat map or whatever, right? So there needs to be a person actually like doing every single of those steps and moving components from one software, from one part of the workflow to the other one. Now you can have an AI agent do that. And I actually started exploring this on the blog side for content creation. There are already companies that do this. I call it consumer AI, so non-medical AI. Consumer AI has that as well, and I'm starting to explore this because there's a lot of manually moving things, pasting, copying, adjusting between Google Drive, ChatGPT, all that stuff. And then, Trello, email, calendar, Calendly, and all those different softwares. And now you can have an AI-powered workflow that does that for you. So they have something like that for image analysis. That was the first time I heard about it in the medical space. So that was at the Digital Diagnostics Summit organized by Lumea. And yes, you guessed it, there is a vlog about it. And I met them at Pathvisions again, but there are more players that are doing that. Page AI partnered with Path Presenter to make their language model available within a slide viewing software. So another common theme, right? Making AI, whichever form of AI, available in the slide viewing software. Path Presenter partners with Page AI, which is powered by Microsoft, but of course the big rival of Microsoft, Google, was there as well. I actually talked to
Kenneth Philbrick,
and Google trained foundation models for pathology. Those models they are open source. I just got an email yesterday that they switched from the Pathology 1.0 version of this infrastructure that they had to Pathology 2.0. So I am curious what exactly they're going to be doing. For now, it's these are foundation models that can be fine-tuned, that can be used basically for computational pathology researchers. So Google is officially entering the scene. I kind of was aware that they were up to something for over a year, but nothing was official. There was no communication about it, and at Path Visions they actually officially presented, and I talked to them. So whenever I know more, you're gonna know more as well, because I'm gonna tell you. This year I didn't visit any European conferences, so my apologies for having a European gap here. And on the world scene, a new digital pathology society was founded, and it was the Asian Society of Digital Pathology, ASDP, Asian Society of Digital Pathology. And at Path Visions, I got to talk to Jun Fukuoka, who is the founder and current president. We had a super cool chat and nice podcast episode that may or may not be out by the time of when this video is out. If it is, of course you're gonna get the link, and if not right at this very moment, whenever it's available, it's gonna be here in the cards. Path Visions had over 850 attendees. That was the greatest number of attendees ever, and it was their 15th anniversary. Then now, as I'm recording this, I actually now am in Europe, and what was happening yesterday and today, 11th and 12th of December, there's a Digital Pathology and AI conference in London by Global Engage, so a lot of digital pathology trailblazers there. I kind of considered going, but then it was too much with other stuff that's happening in my life. But maybe next year, and I bet you're gonna be seeing some cool social media coverage from Pathology News. Pathology News is there. They are actually based in UK, so that's like their conference to go and support all the digital pathology trailblazers, both on the user, pathologist, healthcare professional side and on the vendor side. So that's about the meetings.
This trip, as fast as this year, we're already on our way back. This year was also the year of development of foundation models for pathology and incorporating them and large language models into the pathology workflow. So foundation models can generalize across different pathology tasks. The goal of developing them is so that they can understand images kind of like pathologists understand images, so that you can search in those images, you can query the images, you can match images and text, and maybe even get some advanced insights that are beyond human visual perception. There were several companies and academic centers active in this arena, one of them being Page AI. They developed the models called Virchow, like the father of pathology, Rudolf Virchow, and they're supposed to be helpful with cancer detection, biomarker identification, and also therapy response prediction. And they also partnered with Path Presenter, a pretty powerful image management system and image viewer, where you can actually deploy the models and co-pilot based on large language models. So I've seen it at Path Visions, how easy it is to query the patient history, any other additional data, and while actually evaluating the image and deploying also other AIs that they have available in terms of image analysis. Another group from Mass General Brigham, Harvard Medical School, developed two major foundation models, UNI and CONCH. UNI specializes in analyzing the pathology images, so also detecting cancers and different visual tasks, whereas CONCH is a text and image matching model. So we have a vision language model, which is super powerful. And this group actually created a company called Modella.ai. And you might have seen the Modella clips from how their AIs are working. So they have path chat based on those models where you can actually screenshot a pathology image and ask about it, what it is, and basically have a discussion about the screenshot. And also they are venturing into so-called agentic AI, an AI agent called Judith, and that is supposed to orchestrate the image analysis workflow. Also, the big software player, Microsoft and Google, are active in this arena of foundation models and deploying generative AI into the pathology space. So Microsoft partnered with Page. They have this co-creation of Virco. There's also Virco 2, Virco 2G, and those models were trained on over 3 million slides. I think this is the largest amount of slides models were trained on. We are going into the millions. This is unheard of in pathology. And I also had the honor to speak with Google representatives at PathVisions, and they have released foundation model architectures that are available for researchers to work with them. And the goal of this initiative is to democratize the access to AI in pathology. And another player that's exploring this, and there are probably more, but these were the main ones, is also Roche. Roche, who recently became Digital Pathology Place sponsor. So shout out to our new sponsor, Roche. The opinions in the research community and in the pathology community are a little bit mixed. And there is one camp saying that if you are such a generalist as those models that are supposed to know everything, you only can know everything at a rather high level, and in pathology, specializing is the way to go. And the other camp is saying, well, there is shortage of pathologists, so even if we have things being recognized at the moment at high level, and we're aiming for a more specialized level and like more powerful models, then it's better than not having access to pathologists. So we'll see how this develops and what the applications are going to be, what use cases we're going to be exploring next year. One thing that everybody actually agrees on is that we want to have those models multimodal. So those vision text models are already an example of that, but we want to integrate more types of images, radiology images, tabular data, and basically different types of healthcare data, including pathology images and pathology text, to provide better care. How it's going to be deployed, how it's going to be made possible, I don't know, but I think we're going to see it pretty soon, especially because very capable software companies are now also interested in this topic. So I think there's going to be a merger of the software development principles and medical data that's gonna give us a lot better results than the previous attempts, such as IBM Watson, who was supposed to do something like that already in the 90s, but failed miserably. I think we're a lot closer to success right now. That was 2024. I'm super excited about the AI, about the new clearances and standardization. I think we're going to see even bigger adoption in 2025, value-based care, streamlining the computationally heavy models, and basically getting us into the place where patients who have the right to fast diagnosis can actually get it because of digital pathology, because of the artificial intelligence leveraged to provide faster, more informative, and value-based care. So Stay tuned. If you like this recap, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I talk to you in the next episode.